so this is Ramon Ray from Smart Hustle Magazine, Infusionsoft, and a lot of other things. And who are you, and who do you work for?
My name's Hannah Perry, and I run the Giggling Pig Art and Party Studio.
Giggling Pig Art and Party Studio. That is an interesting name. What is that studio do?
Mainly we work with children, but we also work with adults, and we also visit schools and assisted living homes. But we're all art-based.
And give me a little more about it. So I'm a child, I go into your studio. What happens?
Depending on the age, we have drop-off programs from age 2 and up. We do art lessons, so the children will learn about drawing. They'll work on drawing skills, painting skills, sculpture, and the younger children, 2 to 5, there's a Piglet class that is art and science based.
And so you're turning out like little Da Vinci's? I don't know. I don't know about art. Is that what's happening?
No. Well, sometimes the ones that stay with us, that we have students that have stayed with us over the 5 years.
But it's more so, it sounds to me, a place where kids can have fun, and their parents can leave them to have some time.
And they explore, and they get to work, exposure to different mediums, and it's very educational.
Now, this is Smart Hustle Magazine, so we have to know your hustle. Tell us kind of why you started it. Were you always into art? Did you wake up one morning and somebody just gave you keys to the studio full of children generating millions in revenue? Or give us the story. In a summary, how did this start?
Well, I'm definitely a hustler because I have worked from nothing. I came to America when I was 19 with about $15 in my pocket, which had to last me 2 days. Yes. But
That's like 2 slices of pizza and a Snapple, maybe? Give or take.
Yeah. I started the studio off. It was a very, very small room. I took a chance with it, and it grew substantially within 6 months. I was working 7 days a week. I didn't sleep, and I kept, trying to come up with new ideas.
And why did it grow? Tell me that, because you could have been there for 2 years and had no one come. Right. What was that hustle about?
I think I just made myself available to all my customers, and I met all their needs no matter what they were. Even if I didn't think I could do it, or I hadn't done it before, I would tell them that I could do it, and it was going to be awesome. And they helped me too, because I've had very supportive customers that have spread the word about me, and that helped us grow. Awesome. So very lucky. Okay,
so continue. So you came to the U.S., started the studio pretty much from day one, give or take, full of children. And what else?
I then moved into my second location after 8 months, and then had to move from that one after 2 years because we outgrew 1,000 square feet. So we're now in 2,000 square feet with 1,000 square feet outdoor area as well. Nice. I published my children's book, which is around the shop. It's also a Giggling Pig story. I published that this year, and we've just been growing non-stop, so I'm very fortunate. And
give us an idea of the business model. So you have 2 studio locations, yes?
No, I have one. We moved into the 2,000 square feet.
So you have one location, children come in, parents pay whatever they're paying for a variety of art classes, and that's pretty much the model, and different levels and types, and then you have the book. Is that a summary of what's...
Yes, yeah. And then with the after-school enrichment programs now, which is becoming very successful, so we're now traveling out to, even to businesses. We do a lot of adult classes for parties and things for the.
And tell us about the employee size, whatever, if you don't mind. Meaning, do you have 1099? Do you have employees? Is it seasonal? Give us to educate people who are listening, if they want to grow. How have you gone from one person? How do you scale?
Yeah, in our busy season, which is summer, I have about 15 employees. In the quiet season, which is now, it's not so quiet, but I have about 7. Okay. But so there's always main teachers. I have my staple teachers, so Lana and Ali, and then I have an assistant that organizes everything for me, Laura. She's fantastic. Okay. Awesome. So yeah. And
then tell us about some challenges, Hannah. Has it always been just perfect? Clearly the trajectory has been good, but have you gone through any challenges? Have there any times where you stayed in bed crying, or where you woke up wanting to kill somebody? Anything like that? I know for me in my business there have been many, many days like that. It happens even to today. But what about your journey?
I think that I have struggles on a weekly basis, so I'd be lying if I said I didn't. But you learn how to deal with it. You come across customers that aren't happy, which isn't very often, but so when it does happen, you take it very personally, and you attend to it immediately and sort it out immediately. But I appreciate those customers because they make me better at what I do. They also make my staff better at what they do. But the biggest challenge has just been growing so fast, I think, trying to balance being a mom, running a studio, taking care of staff, taking care of a studio. It's a lot of work, but I wouldn't do anything else.
I love it. And then what about the beginning? Has that been relatively smooth starting out, or are there any times where anything happened that was a challenge for the business? And if it's been smooth, that's okay. But as you were starting out, did you experience any hiccups or bumps, or have you been blessed to have it going pretty well?
Yeah, I think I've been very blessed. I've encountered just fabulous people that really wanted to help, and they supported my vision of what I was trying to achieve. So even with my landlords, I've been very lucky.
Okay. And it sounds to me, in case people are looking and saying, wow, my business didn't go so smooth, part of it could be your character, could be how you're delivering your concept, could be your belief and passion in what you're doing. Do you think any of these things have to do with it? I know for me, if I walk in a room and say, people, you know what? Yes, we can do an event with 1,000 people. I infect them with my passion. So I don't know if that's your journey.
I think my attitude has a lot to do with it, because then my employees have a positive attitude. If I let them see that I'm stressed out, then they'll be stressed out and they'll think they can't handle it. And there's been plenty of times when we've had a room full of 60 people, or we had to cater to over 100 for an adult painting party. That was a really big deal, and I was stressed out, but I just said, oh, it's going to be fantastic. You guys have got this.
So positive attitude. And then what is your advice? What I'm hearing is that definitely you have a story of scale, of growing. But any other advice, if you had to look back, even though there's not been any major hiccups, and you said, Ramon, I would do these one or two things differently as a form of advice for those who are listening, what would you say, or your caution to be concerned about?
I think that something I'm learning that's very important is to be extremely organized all the time, to make lists of things that need to be accomplished, and to continue to move forward. Even though I'm busy and I've got a lot to deal with in the present, I continue to think, well, how can I grow? What else can I be doing? And I think that that's really important, to not stop looking forward. Because if you do, I think your business, in my business, it can grow stale fast if you don't keep changing. So that it's important for the children to come in and see that things are growing and they're different and they're fun. Else it would be boring if the kids were with us for 5 years and everything stayed the same.
And so I guess that maybe is your biggest challenge.
Yeah.
And now let's talk about, what about financing or hiring, and any of those things, issues? Are you self-funded? Do you line of credit, loans? Have you had any financing issues? And then let's talk about the marketing, how you get the word out. But financing first, any advice or thoughts or problems?
Well, I started the business with $0.
Right, with those $15 from England.
so it was a struggle. It was actually a struggle to even just get into a bank. But I have just worked and saved and worked and saved. I think payroll's always really stressful, though. But I do have a line of credit, so that we can stock up. We have thousands of dollars of products that we go through every month, so it's a big deal to be able to afford that. But that's... And
then what about the marketing side? Tell me a little bit of how, so you have a physical location, everything happens in the physical location, or you're going to a school. Give us
locations too, yeah.
Okay, or locations. Give us an idea of how you spread the word. Maybe it's word of mouth, but just give us your playbook,
We do a lot online. We don't really advertise in papers. I find that the customers that come love it so much that they'll go away and they'll tell people, which has been the case. So we do a lot of work on Facebook, and just my website is constantly updated. Probably every couple of days there's new images being put up there. Yeah, so that's a lot of work. But the advertising is definitely word of mouth, and Laura, she's in charge of updating things on all the sites that advertise what's going on in the area and places for families to visit. She's constantly updating that as well, even on a weekly basis.
And let's see, I think the last question I have for you, Hannah, is what about the future? Where do you see yourself in, 1 year, 5 years, whichever one you wish to answer? But as a smart hustler, where do you see this going? And I think it can go anywhere you want it based on what I'm hearing today.
I definitely see it as a franchise. We've already begun the franchise process, which is it's a lot of work. So right now we're aiming for next year to be opening up a second store while we're going through the franchise process. But in 5 years, I'd like to see Giggling Pigs everywhere, making people happy.
Nice. And you on TV studios and stations talking about your journey.
Yeah, definitely.
Can you please hire me for just 1 hour? I love kids. I'd love to do something.
I'm sure they'd love you too.
And anything I didn't ask you today that you wanted to express today, or any advice, any tips, any thought that I didn't bring out that you wanted to share? And if not, it's okay.
No, I think we covered it all, but people should definitely check out the website. It's fantastic.
And tell us, what is that?
It is the GigglingPigArtStudio.com.
Okay, great. So, Ramon Ray from Smart Hustle Magazine with the amazing Hannah Perry, who started here with about $15 for 2 slices of pizza, and now growing into an awesome art studio. And again, what's your name and what's the name of the company?
Hannah Perry and the Giggling Pig Art and Party Studio.
Thank you.